It is a fact that 3 out of 5 deaths are due to inflammation. What I mean is low-grade inflammation. Inflammation is the normal way the body reacts to infection. The immune system reacts to infection. So when you have a bruise somewhere, the blood vessels will dilate so that red blood cells can get to that point.
I thought church is tomorrow. Is tomorrow Sunday?
Let me just mute.
You have to mute this banner, Basil.
Yes.
It's causing wahala.
Thank you very much. We know that low-grade inflammation is responsible for 3 out of 5 deaths all over the world. And we also know that if it is responsible for 3 out of 5 deaths, that means that about 80% of people have low-grade inflammation. Indeed, if you're not taking special anti-inflammatory products, antioxidants, there's no way you're going to escape having one problem from chronic inflammation. A lot of people have one, some two, some three, some many chronic inflammatory diseases. And there's no solution to these diseases as far as orthodox medicine is concerned. And whatever they are giving you will only make the problem worse, in the sense that each drug you take, each pharmaceutical drug you take, has side effects. And at times, the side effect is so much that the doctor asks you to break the dosage into 3 or 4. If you take 1,000 milligrams, that might kill you. So he asks you to break it into 200 each. So for the first day, 200 in the morning, 200 in the afternoon, 200 in the evening. The following day, you take the remaining 200 milligrams times 2. But today, we are going to give you something that is 100% natural. Something that you go to the cellular level and tackle the issue. So it is that you are taking care of maybe prostate enlargement. And then you notice that your blood pressure also drops. Like my former student who got the products for his father. His father was battling enlarged prostate. And then he called me a few days later. Sir, does this product also work for blood pressure? My father's blood pressure has become normal. A former student also got the product because of his knees arthritis. And then he called 3 days later to tell me that his blood pressure and blood sugar dropped from 108, because he was pre-diabetic, from 108 to 100 in just 3 days. He was not taking the product because of his blood sugar. And he said, even the 108, you have to do a lot of exercise in the morning and drink plenty of water to achieve 108, 107. But in 3 days, without any exercise, without taking any water, he was recording 100. And the following day, it even dropped to 90. That is what we offer you tonight. So this is not anything you have heard about before. When you bring the message of Phytoscience, people think it's just like any of these other products out there. That was my thinking too, when I was introduced to Phytoscience. Indeed, I was attending my third Zoom meeting, and I attended those meetings because there was no way I could say no to the woman that introduced me to this business. So I was attending my third Zoom meeting, and I was going to tell the woman that, sorry, auntie, I'm no longer going to attend any Zoom meetings. But it just occurred to me that I should Google the word stem, the word cells. So stem cells. What I saw within 5 minutes was so amazing. I have to stop whoever was delivering the talk at the Zoom meeting. I said, people have not even set up to 5 minutes, 5% of what I read in the last 5 minutes. I'm joining tomorrow. Luckily for me, I had some money with which I was going to buy shares on the United Stock Exchange. And I just used the money to sign up. And since then, I've not looked back. I did not see the products for about 2 weeks after I signed up. But what I read was enough for me to invite so many people. The first Zoom meeting I attended after signing up, I invited so many people. 20 showed up, but only 17 were able to enter the meeting because the meeting maxed out. That was the kind of passion I had then. And I can assure you, I'm even becoming more and more passionate about these products. When I came across the products, I was battling sinusitis. 40 years of sinusitis. Doctors said there was no solution. I had given up. Sinusitis was destroying my eyes, my ears, my nose, my gums. I already had gum disease. I was told at the clinic in 1997, or rather at UCH, I had an operation on my nose in UCH in 1997. The doctors did not tell me that it was not going to cure sinusitis. In fact, if you ask them anything about it, they will not say anything. I asked the consultant, he didn't say anything. I even said, what caused this problem in the first instance? Neither of them told me anything about sinusitis. But later I got to know that sinusitis has no cure. I'm talking about chronic sinusitis, not acute sinusitis. Acute sinusitis is one that goes away after any chronic inflammation takes a long time to go. Acute inflammation takes maybe a few days to maybe a week. By the time it gets to
not there, the other family can steal and
so can I
it's now.
can you be a co-host? Are you in the house?
Yes.
Amadele, Adiola, would you like to be a co-host? So you're a co-host to help maintain. Please, I want to make you a co-host so you can mute noisy mics.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can make me a co-host, no problem.
Okay. So I was saying, the nurses had told me that chronic sinusitis could destroy your ears, your mouth, your eyes, and then I knew what I was expecting. And then the operation really made my nose to suffer so much. Being a teacher, I had to talk and talk and talk. And you know, the nose is made of cartilage. Cartilage won't heal. It took over 10 years, 12 years for the nose to heal. And I had to talk and talk. I think talking made it not to even heal. That is, it aggravated my condition. It was even a day I just discovered that my nose was bleeding without having anything to have caused it. I knew that the bridge of my nose had been breached. Then later, I found that my mouth was no longer producing enough saliva. Throughout the day, my mouth was dry. Ginger, garlic, lemon, lime only gave momentary relief. Within 5 minutes, my mouth was dry again. And you know what it is to have a dry mouth throughout the day. By the time I went to sleep, by the time I woke up from my sleep in the morning, it was as if a suction pump had been used to pump the saliva out of my mouth. And my tongue was sticking to the upper palate. I know what that means. When your mouth is no longer producing enough saliva, it means that bacteria will just find a real home in your mouth. The bacteria destroyed my gums. And then I had to be going to the dental clinic every 2 or 3 months for scaling and polishing. I know how painful that thing is. Well, it's not really painful, but shocking. Shocking is even more serious than pain. You'll be cringing, but there's something you can do about it. And you have to go to the dentist every 2 or 3 months. And by the time I got to the dentist the 2nd or 3rd month, my mouth was already horrible. And as soon as the man put the machine on my gums, on my teeth, there was so much blood coming out. He was worried, I was worried. You know, when your gums bleed easily, that means you are in trouble. And you know, the gum is so important. It presses down, closes around the teeth, preventing bacteria, because the mouth contains a lot of bacteria, both good and bad. If your gums are loose, bad bacteria will enter and then can enter the bloodstream. So in addition to destroying the bone supporting your teeth, it can also compromise your body. You could develop all sorts of heart conditions, cardiovascular problems because the bacteria entered your bloodstream through your mouth. That is why we have to take care of our mouth sometimes and make sure that the gums are in perfect condition. How does gum problem start? It starts also with inflammation, what we call gingivitis. Anything it is inflammation. You first notice some reddish spot on your gum. I did not even know that was what was there until I attended the seminar in biological sciences. And one of my former students mentioned gingivitis and then how bleeding helps the bacteria to even multiply in your mouth. That was the day I got to know that I was in trouble. And then there was even a time the infection from the sinusitis was so bad that my gums were melting. I mean, really melting. I could see the reddish brown color of the gum on my teeth. In fact, the gums were even cutting. You will see them going transparent because they had worn down and then cutting. But luckily, I knew a medical doctor who recommended an antibiotic, and that stopped the gums from melting. I think I would have lost all my teeth. And I used to go to one dentist that time, and then she would say, warm water with salt. There's no amount of money I give you that will be up to taking warm water with salt. And when I gargled with warm water and salt, the melting even got aggravated. So I went back to this woman and told her, this other doctor recommended this particular antibiotic. And what she told me, if you take it for too long, it can make your manhood to die. Etc. etc. But my gums were melting. But that shows the kind of problem you can have when you are taking orthodox medication. She had a point. That thing could have affected my manhood if I had taken it longer than I should. If the problem had persisted, I would have taken it longer and perhaps the story would have been completely different. But today, as I said earlier, we're offering you something completely different. I have over 400 testimonies. If I told you I was passionate when I joined Phytoscience, even before seeing the product, then in 3 years, I have over 400 testimonies. That shows just how much more passionate I am about Phytoscience today. And it is my belief that all of us in this room, we have a passion concerning Phytoscience that even surpasses mine. Because this is not seen anywhere in the world. We are a single range of products and take care of all health issues. The Parkinson's disease, diabetes, sickle cell anemia. I'm talking about permanent solution and in finite time too. And then what's more important, the regeneration of every tissue and every organ in the body. As I said earlier, tonight is not going to be any formal meeting. I just talk generally about these products, talk about inflammation and why we need the products. And then I show you the products. And then maybe we have some chit chat on the products, or maybe some people might have some questions to ask. So let us go on now to inflammation. Inflammation is the natural way the body reacts to an infection. So there's the innate immune system, which consists of the skin, the eyes, the outer coverings of the body. That is the first port of call when an antigen, that is an invader, enters the body. This is the same for everybody for all kinds of problems. If you have a cut, for instance, the red blood cells will dilate, and then immune cells will go to that spot and try to see what they can do to repair the problem. The first set of immune cells that we get there are the neutrophils, and they are particularly going to do the work that is needed to be done when you have acute inflammation. But if you are unable to resolve the issue, then the door will be opened wide for the other cells, immune cells, to come in. These are the adaptive immune cells. So the adaptive immune system, which consists of B cells and T cells that are produced inside the bone marrow, and all sorts of other cells, kinds of white blood cells like macrophages, all sorts of cells that try to help your body. The T cells are particularly important in the sense that they are they're initially naive. We call them naive T cells. They have not learned anything. The adaptive immune system is such that they first study the problem. That is why they don't come in immediately. They study the system and then see what they can do. When T cells, which mature in the thymus, that's why they are called T cells. When they sense a problem for the first time, it takes them some time to attack it. And then some of them will die in that process, while others will become what we call memory T cells. Now they remember that antigen, that invader. So when that invader comes around, they attack it immediately. So this time around, the response is very swift. They move in and get the job done. But the problem is, what they sense as an enemy might not even be an enemy in the first instance. It might just be particles of dust or pollen. But once it's in their memory that this particular particle is an enemy, you launch an attack. That is why you say you have an allergy. An allergic response is one in which it's not even necessarily a problem, but the immune system senses it and believes that it's a problem and then launches an attack. Now, the problem arises if it's unable to solve the problem. The immune system will continue to send armies and armies of immune cells to that point, destroying the surrounding tissues. So the problem is not resolved, and the body will keep sending and sending and sending armies there. What happens is that you are in trouble. There's nothing that can be done, and orthodox medicine cannot help you. It can only help to alleviate the symptoms. Now, let us go a little bit deeper. Now we are looking at the guts. It will surprise you to know that about 80% of the immune cells are inside your guts. It is now obvious why what you eat is very important. So let's say you take something that is not good for your body, like white bread or white rice, that has been the host, that is, the fiber is no longer there. The bacteria in your guts, we see this as a problem, because by the time the bacteria reacts with what you are putting inside your body, the immune system no longer recognizes those cells. For instance, you took sugar drink. It's going to make your blood to spike in sugar. And what does that do? It will make your insulin to go up, trying to open the door for the sugar to enter your bloodstream so that you can get it out of your system. But by the time it gets there, because the stomach bacteria has been altered, it can no longer open that door. So you have what we call insulin resistance, which is the mother of type 2 diabetes and so many other problems. Then let us take a look at the cells that have been altered. Now, your immune system begins to see those cells as enemy cells. What does it do? What we call interleukins will come in and then open the doorway for immune cells to come in. When they come in, they are going to cause a lot of trouble because they keep piling up, destroying the lining of that internal organ. Now, when some of these cells die, they are going to live there because not all of the cells will be destroyed by macrophages. They are going to lie there and then form a kind of, foamy substance, which is why we feel pains in some parts of our bodies. Because there's the body is no longer what it used to be because of inflammation. If you press it, you feel some pain. The pain will persist as long as the inflammation is there. And that is why when you take our products, maybe you are taking the product because of diabetes or because of your arthritis, you notice that the pains in some parts of your body are gone. It is because they are due to inflammation. People also wonder why taking these products we
Sir, unmute yourself.
How long have I been muted? Hello? How long have I been muted?
5 seconds, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. So all these problems are due to inflammation. So these products will ginger the body into producing their own stem cells, which will go into those places and replace all those defective cells and push them out. Once that is done, the body's immune system no longer sees these cells as enemy cells. So there's no need keeping the army there. The army is withdrawn and you are fine and the pain goes away. That is just one aspect of it. Now, T cells, as I said earlier, are wonderful defensive cells. They are only trying to help you, but in some cases, they misbehave. For example, inside the pancreas, the beta cells are the ones producing insulin. In type 1 diabetes, these T cells go in and attack the beta cells and destroy them. Once destroyed, that means the person can no longer produce insulin. Such a person needs to take insulin injection for the rest of their lives. But when you take phytoscience products, that will regenerate not only the pancreas, the T cells that are aberrant will be pushed out. So fresh new cells will come in that should do what they should do. That is, protect the body the way the body should be protected. A solution that the world has been waiting for. Indeed, I never knew that in my lifetime, a single range of products will be taking care of all health issues. I knew a time was coming, but I just never knew it was going to be in my own lifetime. So we are lucky, indeed, that in the year 2008, Dr. Fred Zulli of Mibel Biochemistry discovered that if you should put the stem cells of the special apple, Vitriolus parfluva, that is found only in Switzerland, under your tongue, it's going to ginger your body into producing its own stem cells that can then take care of all health issues inside the body. I've been talking about stem cells. Let us take a look at what stem cells are. Stem cells are mother cells which have the capability of producing their own type and also differentiating into different types of cells inside the body. There are what we call totipotent stem cells, which are the ones that can differentiate into all kinds of cells, including the cells of the placenta. Then the placenta itself contains what we call pluripotent stem cells. From what you have seen, totipotent, pluripotent. Pluripotent stem cells can differentiate into the cells of any tissue or any organ in the body. Indeed, they formed us inside our mother. They formed the eyes, the liver, the kidneys inside the mother. That is why in some developed countries, the placenta is stored inside stem cell banks, such that if such a person should have a problem in future, this placenta is recalled and the stem cells inside it used to take care of whatever problem that person is facing. We don't have such facility in Nigeria. Yes, when you also look at stem cell technology, there's what we call human stem cells. The one inside the placenta can differentiate into any kind of cell inside the body. But adult stem cells can only differentiate into just maximum a few stem cells, like the hematopoietic stem cells inside the bone marrow can differentiate into white blood cells or red blood cells, that kind of thing. But most of the stem cells inside the body can only produce their own type, which is why once you can no longer, maybe you have lost your baby teeth, you can't grow another one if the one you have as an adult should break. But you have seen cases where broken teeth were regenerated. Indeed, my own teeth were regenerated in the sense that they were just crunchy. If I bit into a bone, the front teeth will bend and they will just break on their own and I will crunch them and swallow. And after taking these products for some months, all my teeth became regenerated. I mean that, completely regenerated. When you look at, when we talk about regeneration, you see, when you look at a case like glaucoma, you begin to know what you are talking about when I say my teeth were regenerated. Glaucoma is a kind of problem in which the optic nerve is dying. doctors have no solution. Even if the eyes are replaced, it won't be the solution because the optic nerve is the one that carries sensation from the eyes to the brain. So if they are not working, if they are dead, no matter what you do on the outer eye, nothing will happen. That is why the man that had glaucoma and then got the products for 6 weeks and then disappeared for some time had to come back to me because he went looking for solution elsewhere. But when he could not find any, he came back to me. And within a month, he could read from his phone. I called him and he picked his phone and said, Prof, the man that referred him to me is also in my faculty at the University of Lagos. I called my colleague and said, your brother can now read from his phone. Call him and confirm. He called and confirmed that his brother can now read from his phone. If the product can regenerate the optic nerve, then what can they not regenerate? There's also an uncle of mine whose legs were death sensation. And when I started this business, I told him about the products. My uncle is the kind of person that will never subscribe to anything like this. He has all sorts of solutions for health issues. He can ask you to be tapping your knees, tapping your forehead. So he now said, okay, let me take these products for 6 weeks, then I give you a feedback. After 6 weeks, he called and said, thank you so much. You saved me from a serious health issue. My legs are dead to sensation. His legs are back, sensation back in his legs. Now, I have taken care of so many people. My cousin and her husband were going blind over glaucoma. Now they see perfectly just after 4 months of taking the products. The mother of my college daughter also had glaucoma. She took the products for 4 months also, completely okay. I even got back to her just a few days ago, just to ask after her eyes. And she said everything was perfect. You see, life is a matter of choice. I also know someone who's going blind over glaucoma. And what that person says is that, no, I won't take this product because doctors say there is no cure for glaucoma. Such a person is still living in the past. One thing I found out about life is that it is our job to make sure that we sustain our life and keep our life here for as long as possible. It's not ours, to give life to ourselves. God gave us our life, and it is just our job now to make sure that we keep it as long as we can so that we can learn the lessons we need to learn. Even if you place a piece of rock on top of a germinating maize, what will it do? It will try to bend around the rock. Even if you have had all sorts of theories, you have tried all sorts of medications, you have tried all sorts of remedies, and they did not work, that does not mean that you should keep just where you are now, staying where you are, telling yourself that there is no solution. You keep looking for the solution until you get it. Yoruba say, if you don't buy a lie, you can never buy the truth. A lot of people have tried all sorts of remedies, acclaimed remedies that did not work. So when we come along with phytoscience, they say, well, maybe this is just like one of them, just the way I thought when I first came across the products. I think I've talked and talked and talked and talked now. We said we are going to keep this meeting within 45 minutes, and I've exhausted 30 minutes already. So I quickly go to the products now. So I said, this is not a formal meeting. Can you see my screen? Hello? Can you see my screen? Co-hosts, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sure.
This is our first product, and the second one as well. Double stem cell. Phytoscience is the second product. These products are wonderful. I was talking about regeneration the other time. This product will regenerate every tissue and every organ in your body. What that also means is that you also regenerate your skin. If you look at me now, my hair is so luxurious, and my skin is shining. as if I have been taken back quite a number of years. That is what these products will do for you. They regenerate every tissue and every organ in the body. That is why when we say sign up, we want you to sign up, take the products so that people can see you and see the product in you. So you have to be a product of the product. So these products will regenerate every tissue and every organ, which is why I told you earlier that they can take care of all health issues. We are going to add some other products to them to enhance their work or make their work more efficient. But indeed, double stem cell came first. And without the other products, we are working wonders with double stem cell. So what will double stem cell do? It will slow down the aging process, which is seen as combating the aging process itself. It will protect you against ultraviolet stress, improve your cellular health. Of course, we've heard all about that. It will boost your immunity and give you a better heart health. Some other time, we are going to have enough time to talk about what is inside double stem cell. You'll see why it will give you a better heart health. It will ensure better blood circulation. And if someone has, for instance, has sickle cell anemia, they are going to take this alongside Snowy Fort, which will rebuild your blood cells, red blood cells. And that will now ensure that the red blood cells get to every tissue and every organ in the body, including the extremities of the body. And once the extremities of the body get nutrition and oxygen from the blood getting to them, there will not be crisis anymore, because there's crisis only because the blood is not getting to those extremities, because not just the extremities, even the heart itself has a lot of small capillaries. And if they get blocked by the sickle cells, which stick together and are sickle form, they will block the red blood cells from carrying oxygen and nutrition to those parts of the body, to the heart, and that can cause a lot of trouble. That is why those who have sickle cell anemia can suffer heart attack, because the blood is not getting to the heart. It will improve your mental action, and that is why my first case was Parkinson's disease. The person who introduced him to me, the man to me, also works in Unilag. The man himself was also working in Unilag, though he's retired now. And the man that introduced him to me told me, the way I'm looking at this man, I'm not sure he can perform his duties at home as a husband. Of course, the man could not have been there when that other man was telling me that. But he called me within 6 weeks and told me that he had regained his manhood. He said he had lost his manhood because of Parkinson's disease. You know what Parkinson's disease is? It's a brain problem. The signals are not getting where they should get. But what will happen in this case is that the stem cells are regenerated, restoring the functioning of the brain to 100%. It also means that you are going to retain your cognitive abilities for throughout your lifetime. That is what you are looking for. We don't want a situation where you get a certain age, you don't remember things anymore, or Alzheimer's creeps in, and things like that. Alzheimer's disease creeps in, or Parkinson's disease comes in. And then to neutralize free radicals. No, free radicals cause all sorts of trouble inside our body. Free radicals are just atoms that have lost one electron. And then that is due to the work of oxidation. Oxidation makes you lose an electron from an atom. Could be due to the processes inside the body, like respiration. You know, respiration is good, but it's also going to produce free radicals. And the body itself has a way of taking care of free radicals. But if you have more free radicals than can be taken care of by the body, then you are in trouble. In fact, the one produced by the body might not necessarily be enough. That is why you need antioxidants. And antioxidant is an atom that can absorb and that can lose an electron. That is, when the free radical, which has lost an electron, steals an electron from an antioxidant, the antioxidant becomes stable. It is still stable. Meanwhile, a free radical is not stable. That is why it is hunting around looking for an electron to steal, causing what we call oxidative stress, such that the body can no longer handle the stress. Of course, this leads to inflammation. And then you see, the problem with low-grade inflammation is that you don't know you have it until it manifests as pain, as diabetes, as cardiovascular disease, as cancer. All these are due to inflammation. and you don't even know you have low-grade inflammation. It's going to help you with urinary tract health, and it's going to work on your prostate if you're a man, you work on your urinary system if you're a woman. And the amazing thing is that if, for instance, a child is born with a small bladder, this product will correct it. My co-worker, his son was wetting his bed twice every night, minimum. And the time this boy came to our office, he was looking so sad. But I can assure you, after 3 days of this product, he never wet his bed anymore. He got up for the first time in his life and went to pee. His mother could not live in with people who are not members of the family, who did not know he had that problem, because that would have damaged his psyche even more. It will work on your eyes. That is why, for instance, you are taking this product for diabetes or for any other reason, and then you notice that your eyes have improved. Yeah, at my lesson at Bariga, so many students have thrown away their glasses because I gave them just a pack of double stem cell with different bodies with different ways of being taken care of by this product. But this product will go to the root of the problem. So at times you are taking the product for a particular problem, you first go and take care of the other problems because those other problems caused this one in the first instance. Like the man who could not see, and then he came to me, and within 3 weeks, his blood pressure had become normal. His blood sugar had become normal, but he was still complaining and indeed insulting me. But by the time he took the products for the remaining one, because he got products for a period of time, by the time he took the product for the 4th week, he could now read from his phone. That is the kind of thing we are talking about here. Like I said, helps with chronic inflammation. How do you take double stem cell? You pour a sachet under the tongue 2 hours before the first meal of the day. So if you're going to take your breakfast at 8 a.m., pour this sachet under your tongue at 6 a.m. latest, and then put your tongue back on top. You can see the sublingual gland under the tongue. As much as possible, let it be close to that point, and then put your tongue back on top. Let it stay for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then take 50 cl of water. Then for the rest of the day, you're going to need about at least 2 liters of water. Now, if you have any problem, especially with crystal cell, you allow the saliva, whatever mixes with the saliva, to run over your teeth and your gums. So if you have gum problems, teeth problems, then that will take care of that as well. If you have tooth problem that is localized at a particular point, you can just pour a sachet of crystal cell, which is why crystal cell should be inside your first aid box, because you never know when somebody is going to need it. Later, we are going to see another product that should be in your first aid box. But please put this there, because maybe you have a tooth problem over the weekend and you cannot see the dentist. Or maybe you are tied up for one reason or another, or it's a Sunday. All you need to do is just pour a sachet of crystal cell on that spot, and then you are good. The following week, you can decide to go and see your dentist if you so wish. So, as I said, taking on an empty stomach, and then these products are quite amazing. You don't have to eat if you take double stem cell or crystal cell. When we say 2 hours before the first meal of the day, if you are fasting, that does not stop you from taking these products. Fasting, and before you can still drink. Some fasting is not for, you are not fasting over water. It's just that you don't want to eat. So you can take water, so you can take Phytoscience and stem cell products. These are the stem cell products, crystal cell and then double stem cell. What can they take care of? Parkinson's disease, cancer, diabetes, arthritis, cardiovascular diseases. We are not just talking. I have taken care of all these health issues, and then plenty more. Crohn's disease, asthma, gum disease, Alzheimer's disease, cerebral palsy, tumor, athlete's foot, ascites, skin problem. Ascites is where water is inside the linings of your stomach. Could be a serious situation. A colleague of mine had that, and then doctors recommended products for, medication for a whole year. And the way he was looking at those doctors, they didn't even know what they were saying. They were not sure what they were doing. All it took was just 1 pack of double stem cell, and the man was fine. He had lost so much weight that even his younger brother could not recognize him at a distance. Skin problem, elephantiasis, inflammatory bowel syndrome, herniated disc, and so on and so forth. The man that had herniated disc could not even sit for months, and in just a day, he sat up. And then so much miracle worked on that man. Now, the next product is snow fort. Let us see what the constituents of snow fort, what they can do. They can help you manage your sugar, they can manage your weight, they can manage your cholesterol, which is what we mean by anti-hyperlipidemic effect. It's going to take care of the low, the bad cholesterol as against the good cholesterol. It's going to boost your good cholesterol, HDL, and lower your bad cholesterol, which is LDL. And you know, HDL is what takes bad cholesterol to your liver, where it is destroyed. You know, you also need LDL. LDL is good for so many things inside the body, but when you have too much of it, it can cause a lot of problems inside your body. But your HDL will help you with that, taking them to the liver where they are taken care of. Anti-obesity, so if you want to shed weight, this is going to help you. Also have a weight shedding product. We are going to see that one later. It's also going to manage your blood pressure. So it has anti-hypertensive effect, anti-oxidative effect, anti-inflammatory effect, anti-atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis is when the linings of your blood vessels become thickened due to inflammation. As I said earlier, inflammation is going to leave some plaque. That's the right word for it. Just the way you have plaque on your teeth. When bacteria excrete, they feed on the starch in your mouth and excrete, making your teeth to be slippery. That is this slimy thing that is in your teeth. You know, imagine how it is lined up inside your cardiovascular system. So what happens is that some of the T cells that come around to help you solve the problem will die and form a layer. That layer will now have another layer on top of it that is there's going to be a build-up of a layer over that. That means that blood vessel will become narrowed. And we know that when the blood vessel becomes narrowed, one of the laws of physics states that when a tube narrows, the pressure increases. That will make the pressure to increase. That is why you have high blood pressure. And then the heart will now have to pump and pump with more effort, because to overcome the high blood pressure, it has to pump more and more, which will wear down the heart. Eventually, the person has what we call heart failure. So to manage your blood pressure, it has anti-oxidative effect, and then all these things we've mentioned before. As I said, it's not a formal meeting. The formal meeting comes up on Monday. So yesterday we had the product meeting in Phytoscience Nigeria. Tomorrow we are going to have the business angle with Phytoscience Nigeria. Today it's not a formal meeting. We just meet so members can see how these products can handle this problem or that problem, and then they have prospects, they can bring them in so that the prospect can also see what you have to offer. As I said, it's not a formal meeting, so don't expect too much of a formality here. What will wheatgrass do for you? To lower your overall disease risk, help you with your weight, digestive system, help your wound heal, fight infection, handle cholesterol for you, handle blood sugar, give super blood and fortify your immune system, and protect against cancer. Then snow algae is powerful because it's going to help you with your clotho. Clotho reduces as you age, but it's going to help you with your clotho by boosting it. AMPK is is the master switch for cell energy in your system, and it's going to help you with that. It's going to activate that for you. It will stimulate your collagen in aged skin cells. You know, collagen is what gives your body fullness. This is why when you are aging, your collagen begins to collapse. What this does is that it will rebuild your collagen. That's our product will rebuild your collagen. If you look at my face before, it was not this full, but it has rebuilt it. So not only the collagen, but also the elastin that makes your skin to be elastic. You look at my skin now, so much more elastic. And that is why it will reduce wrinkles, in fact, remove wrinkles and slow down the aging process, which is what the next one says, aging on skin cell proteins. You know, the skin itself has its own cycle. The skin cycle is about 28 days for people who are young. As you are growing older, it slows down because the cells that are in the basal layer are the ones that have stem cells. They exfoliate from there, moving out towards the outer skin where they die. So the dry skin we have, which protects us from the outer invasion, is due to keratinocytes, that is body and skin cells that have been hardened, that have died. So they help us with that. But if you are aging, it means that your stem cells are reducing, which is one of the problems we have. As we age, the stem cells we have will reduce, and then they lose the ability to differentiate into cells, different kinds of cells inside the body, even their own type. Because by the time they differentiate, you have what they call stem cell senescence, which means that they can no longer divide. If they can't divide, then that means you must age. So as you are growing older, the skin cycle can be as long as 70 days. And what that means that is that the skin cells are dying more than they are being replaced by the ones coming from the basal layer. That is why we age. So it reinforces the skin barrier in challenging conditions and has anti-age spot effect.